You've probably heard it a million times. Walking is the golden ticket to staying healthy as you age. It's simple, it's free, and it gets you moving. But what if I told you that after 70, leaning too hard on walking as your only exercise might actually be holding you back? I'm not saying walking is bad, far from it, but doctors and experts are starting to sound the alarm. If you're putting all your eggs in the walking basket, you could be missing out on what your body really needs to thrive in your later years. Overdoing it, or relying on it alone, might even speed up some of the very things we're all trying to avoid: muscle loss, joint wear, and that creeping stiffness that sneaks up on us. The truth is, after 70, your body is asking for more than just a daily stroll. It's craving variety, movements that keep your muscles strong, your balance sharp, your joints happy, and your energy high. Today, we're diving deep into 5 key areas that can transform how you feel and move well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. These aren't complicated gym routines or fads, they're practical, doable shifts you can start right now, at home, with no fancy equipment. And trust me, they're game changers. Stick around until the end, because the 5th one? It's something I've learned from my own life that hardly anyone talks about, but it's made a huge difference for me, and it could for you too. Let's get into it. 1. Strength training, the muscle-saving superpower. Let's start with something that hits close to home for a lot of us: muscle. Walking is fantastic for keeping your heart ticking and your legs moving, but here's the catch. It doesn't do much to stop your muscles from slipping away. After 70, there's this thing called sarcopenia, fancy word, right, but it just means the slow, sneaky loss of muscle mass that happens as we age. It's not dramatic at first. Maybe you notice it's harder to carry the groceries in one trip, or you need a little extra push to get up from the recliner. But over time, if you don't fight back, it can steal your strength, and with it, your independence. I'll be honest, when I hit my late 60s, I thought my daily walks were enough. I'd see folks my age shuffling along, and I'd think, not me, I'm active. But then one day, I tried lifting a box of old photo albums off the shelf, nothing heavy, mind you, and my arms wobbled like jelly. I brushed it off as a fluke, but then it happened again when I tried to twist open a jar of pickles. That's when it hit me, walking wasn't cutting it anymore. My muscles were quietly fading, and I didn't even see it coming. Doctors say this is why strength training isn't optional after 70, it's a must. It's not about bulking up like a bodybuilder. It's about keeping what you've got so you can keep doing what you love. Think about it. If you can still haul a bag of potting soil to the garden, climb the stairs without a death grip on the railing, or pick up your grandkid without a second thought, that's freedom. That's strength working for you. Why it matters. Studies back this up. Muscle mass isn't just about looking good in a sweater. It's tied to everything: better balance, stronger bones, even a sharper mind. One report I came across said folks who keep their muscles active live longer, plain and simple. And the best part? You don't need a gym membership or a personal trainer. You can start with what's around you: cans of soup, a water jug, or just your own body weight. How to start? Let's break it down. If you're new to this, try something easy like a seated leg lift. Sit in a sturdy chair, straighten one leg out in front of you, hold it for a few seconds, then lower it. Do 10 on each side. Or grab a couple of light dumbbells, or those soup cans, and do some bicep curls while you're watching the evening news. The trick is to challenge yourself just a little, not to overdo it. Start with 5 or 10 minutes, a couple of times a week, and build from there. A real-life example. Take my neighbor, Jim. He's 72. He used to walk a mile every morning, rain or shine, thinking that was his ticket to staying fit. But last year, he slipped getting out of his truck, not a big fall, but enough to shake him up. His doctor told him his legs were fine, but his upper body strength was lagging. Jim started doing wall push-ups and lifting a pair of 5-pound weights he'd had in the garage forever. 6 months later, he's not just steadier, he's back to tinkering with his old car, something he'd given up on because it felt too hard. Quick test. Want to see where you're at? Sit in a chair, cross your arms over your chest, and stand up without using your hands. If that's a breeze, you're in good shape. If it's a struggle, don't worry, it just means it's time to give your muscles some love. My take. For me, adding strength work wasn't just about avoiding falls, it gave me energy I didn't know I'd lost. I started with resistance bands, those stretchy things you can get for a few bucks. 10 minutes a day, and I felt like I'd turned back the clock. It's not magic, it's just giving your body what it needs. So if walking's your go-to, don't ditch it, just pair it with some strength moves. Your muscles will thank you, and so will your future self. 2. Balance and stability, your fall-proof plan. Next up, balance. Walking keeps you on your feet, but it's not the full story when it comes to staying steady. After 70, falls aren't just a whoops moment, they're the #1 reason older adults end up in the ER. And here's the kicker, it's not always about weak legs. Often, it's about balance slipping away, bit by bit, without us noticing until we're grabbing the counter for dear life. I learned this the hard way a couple of years back. I was stepping off the porch, same porch I've walked down for decades, and my foot hit the ground funny. I didn't fall, but I wobbled, and my heart was pounding. I thought, I've been walking every day, how is this happening? Turns out, walking in a straight line doesn't train those tiny stabilizer muscles in your feet, ankles, and core that keep you upright when life throws you a curveball. Why it matters. Experts say balance starts fading after 50, and by 70, it's a use it or lose it deal. Falls don't just bruise your ego, they can break bones, zap confidence, and even cut years off your independence. But here's the good news, you can rebuild it, and it doesn't take much. How to start? Try this, stand near a counter, just in case, and lift 1 foot off the ground. Hold it for 10 seconds, then switch. Too easy? Close your eyes. Or walk heel to toe, like you're on a tightrope, for 10 steps. These little moves wake up those stabilizer muscles and sharpen your reflexes. Do them while you're brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil. 2 minutes a day can make a difference. A real-life example. My friend Clara, 76, was a walker too, loved her morning laps around the park. But one day, she tripped over a crack in the sidewalk. She caught herself, but it spooked her enough to talk to her doctor. He had her start standing on one leg while holding the kitchen counter, then moving to Tai Chi classes at the community center. A few months in, she's not just steadier, she's back to gardening without worrying about toppling over. Quick test. Stand on one leg, hands on your hips, and count to 10. If you're wobbling like a top, it's time to practice. If you nail it, keep pushing. Balance is a skill you can always sharpen. My take. I started doing balance stuff after that porch scare, and it's been a quiet revolution. I'll stand on one leg while I'm folding laundry or shift my weight side to side during a commercial break. It's not glamorous, but it's given me confidence I didn't know I'd lost. Walking's great, but balance is what keeps you moving safely. Add it in, it's worth it. 3. Flexibility and mobility keep your joints young. Now, let's talk about staying loose. Walking gets your legs going, but it's not stretching your hips, shoulders, or back. After 70, stiffness can creep in like an uninvited guest. Suddenly, tying your shoes feels like a workout, or turning to check your blind spot in the car comes with a twinge. That's your flexibility waving goodbye, and it's a bigger deal than you might think. I noticed this myself not long ago. I'd always prided myself on being spry, my word, not the doctor's, but one morning I bent down to grab the newspaper, and my back said, "Not so fast." It wasn't pain, just a tightness I hadn't felt before. I realized I'd been walking plenty, but I wasn't giving my joints the full range of motion they needed. Why it matters. Doctors say flexibility keeps your joints lubricated and your muscles pliable. Without it, everyday stuff, reaching for a mug, getting out of bed, gets harder. And when your mobility shrinks, so does your world. But you can fight back with a few simple moves. How to start? Start small, sit in a chair, bring one knee toward your chest, hold for 10 seconds, then switch. Or stand and roll your shoulders back in slow circles, 10 each way. Neck stretches are gold too, just tilt your head side to side, nice and slow. Aim for 5 minutes a day, maybe while the coffee's brewing. Yoga's great if you're up for it, gentle stuff, not the twisty pretzel kind. A real-life example. My cousin Ellen, 74, was a walker, clocked 2 miles daily. But she started feeling stiff getting up from her rocking chair. Her physical therapist gave her a routine, leg swings, arm circles, and a seated twist. 3 weeks later, she's not just looser, she's back to knitting without that shoulder ache she'd accepted as normal. Quick test. Stand up, arms relaxed, and turn your head side to side. Smooth and easy? Great. Tight or creaky? Time to stretch. My take. I've added a morning stretch to my routine, nothing fancy, just reaching up, bending side to side, and circling my ankles. It's like oiling a rusty hinge, everything moves better. Walking's a start, but flexibility keeps you feeling young. Don't skip it. 4. Core and posture, stand tall, stay strong. Alright, let's get to your core. No, I'm not talking six-pack abs, I mean the deep muscles that hold you up. Walking doesn't hit these guys much, and after 70, that can mean slouching, back pain, or wobbly balance. A strong core and good posture aren't just vanity, they're your spine's best friends. I'll confess, I caught myself hunching over the sink one day, washing dishes, and thought, when did this happen? My walks weren't fixing it, my core was snoozing on the job. Why it matters. A weak core strains your back, throws off your balance, and makes you look older than you feel. Strengthen it, and you'll stand taller, breathe easier, and move with more zip. How to start? Try this, sit up straight, tighten your belly like you're pulling your navel to your spine, hold for 5 seconds, relax. Do 10. Or stand against a wall, head, shoulders, hips touching, and hold for 30 seconds. Simple, but it wakes up those stabilizer muscles. A real-life example. My buddy Tom, 73, started slumping after years of walking but no core work. His back ached constantly. He began doing seated pelvic tilts, rocking his hips forward and back, and wall stands. A month later, he's straighter, and the pains dialed way down. Quick test. Stand against a wall. Can you keep everything aligned without effort? If you're straining, your core needs a boost. My take. I do a quick core check every morning, tighten, release, repeat. It's not flashy, but it's cut my back twinges in half. Walking's fine, but a strong core keeps you upright and proud. 5. Joint protection, move smart, not hard. Finally, let's talk joints. Walking's low impact, but if it's all you do, those knees, hips, and ankles can still grumble. After 70, cartilage thins, and joints don't bounce back like they used to. I learned this when my knees started creaking after a long walk, nothing major, just a reminder they needed TLC. Why it matters. Healthy joints mean pain-free movement. Overload them with repetitive steps, and you're asking for trouble. Low-impact variety is the fix. How to start? Switch some walks for swimming, cycling, or chair exercises, leg lifts, arm swings. Tai Chi's a gem too, smooth, gentle, joint-friendly. Aim for 20 minutes, a few times a week. A real-life example. My sister-in-law, Pat, 77, walked daily but winced with every step by the end. She swapped half her walks for pool time. 2 months in, her knees are quieter, and she's smiling more. Quick test. Sit and stand slowly, no hands. Smooth? Good. Stiff? Time to ease up on the joints. My take. I've cut my walks from an hour to 30 minutes some days and added a bike ride or water aerobics. My joints feel lighter, and I've got no regrets. Protect them now, they'll carry you far. So, there you have it, 5 ways to go beyond walking and keep your body humming after 70. Strength, balance, flexibility, core, and joint care, they're your ticket to feeling strong, steady, and free. Aging doesn't mean slowing down, it means moving smarter. Start small, pick one area, and build from there. Your body's still got plenty to give, you just need to meet it halfway. Which of these resonates with you? Drop a comment, say 1 for strength, 2 for balance, whatever struck a chord, and tell me one thing you'll try this week. I read every word, and it keeps me going. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend. We're in this together, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay moving.